Congratulations, you made it to the last instructional video in this block of instruction. As we have discussed throughout this series, preparation is the key to an effective test drive. If you have done the work on the front end, researched your customer, understood their priorities, coordinated all logistics, and set up the system, you should be very confident you will get your desired result. This block of instruction will demonstrate a step-by-step workflow with a demonstration of the screen and procedure steps. For this video, we will go back to Dr. Smith as our main character. Remember, Dr. Smith is a mid-career, SUO-trained urologist at a medium academic institution with low market share and bad experience with cryoablation. The demonstration itself follows a standard, reproducible workflow. First, tell the customer what you are going to cover during the demonstration. Set the expectation and agenda. Thanks so much for your time, Dr. Smith. Today I'm going to introduce you to the Focal One robotic HIFU system. I'll ask you some questions to better understand your practice and priorities. Then I will give you a short top-down overview of the system, its components, functionality, and differentiating values. Afterwards, we'll simulate a Focal One procedure so you can see the workflow, ability to adjust and contour the region of interest, and how the robotic positioning system and ability to ablate 30 cc per hour helps ensure patient safety and an efficient procedure. Finally, I'll ask your opinion and we will discuss next steps, which is probably a peer-to-peer learning opportunity, either through a live case observation, virtual case observation, or one-to-one discussion with a peer operating in a similar practice and setting as you are. Define the Focal One value proposition. Remember the acronym RFID. The Focal One robotic HIFU system is an integrated, flexible, modular, cart-based system designed specifically for urologists to ablate prostate tissue. Focal One is unique in that it is a self-contained, dual ablation and fusion system. The system using elastic fusion to overlay an MRI image onto a real-time ultrasound image for precise identification of targeted tissue. The robotic position systems control the movements of the probe during the procedure, eliminating inefficiencies that come with manual adjustments. Our dynamic focusing probe all for real-time imaging during treatments and allows for precise delivery of energy to the targeted tissue. The foundation of Focal One technology is our 4 pillars. Like we discussed, there is no HIFU system on the market that can compete with Focal One's technology, from the robotic positioning system and fusion software to the ability to ablate 30 cc's of tissue an hour. The Focal One is best technology to ablate prostate tissue on the market. We offer comprehensive training to you, your operating room staff, office staff, residents, and fellows. Focal One is in the business of partnering with prostate cancer programs to expand their offerings for patients. Our team is dedicated to helping you and your hospital meet your economic expectations. Focal One partners with institutions on customized, omnichannel marketing campaigns. Finally, we have a dedicated team of technician engineers and clinical application specialists to provide confidence in the technology and program. An impactful opening to get your customer's brain working. For this example, it could be Dr. Smith. We have good timing for the demonstration. I am headed to Cleveland next week. Focal One is partnering with the SUO and Cleveland Clinic for a HIFU course for SUO fellows. I know you trained at Duke and Dr. Robertson is one of your mentors. I've spent a lot of time in his OR. He's one of the busiest Focal One users in the country. Validate the information you learned during your preparation. So, if I remember correctly, you all dabbled in cryo and had bad results. You're concerned you have a gap and are over-treating intermediate-risk patients. The hospital needs to reduce SSIs and you are really interested in capturing market share. Do I have that right? Now make it personal for the surgeon. Ask them to think about a few patients who would benefit from focal therapy. As about active men in their 50s or 60s who are either new to the pathway and making a treatment decision, or maybe it's someone who has been on active surveillance for a while and is seeing an increase in their PSA. Asking the surgeon to think of specific patients, they put a human face to the test drive and will be thinking about those perfect patients throughout the demonstration. This is the Focal One. As you can see, it is a single, integrated unit with a small footprint. It can be easily moved between ORs or to a storage location between cases. This is the endorectal probe. This is one of the key components of our technology. The probe has a 7.5 MHz imaging transducer and a treatment transducer made up of 16 concentric rings. The design allows for the quick and accurate application of energy to the desired target. There is a cooling unit and pump in the system that will circulate ablazency fluid to keep the rectum cool during the case. This is the patient movement detector. This sticker goes on the patient's hip and is aligned with the sensor. If the patient moves during the procedure, the system will automatically pause. No, let's take a seat on the system. I'd like to direct your attention to the Focal One user interface. The urologist is in control of two screens during the procedure. An imaging screen on the right is used to visualize the various volume images, like MRI, 3D biopsy maps, and ultrasound images. This screen is also used to perform elastic fusion. The treatment screen on the left is used to control the treatment, plan the contours of the ablation, monitor the firing process, and make adjustments to the target in real time. For the sake of time, I went ahead and completed the fusion before you came in. Briefly, to complete the fusion, you can upload an MRI image, contour the prostate and region of interest, and the system will fuse it with the real-time ultrasound for a precise map of the prostate. Important note, when possible, implement the show one, do one strategy. Explain to the customer what you are doing at each step. Demonstrate the action and then coach the customer to complete the action on their own. At this stage, I would explain the functionality of each button and how to move the system manually. I would then demonstrate moving the probe and finally would ask the customer to try to move the probe. Planning screen. This is where you will identify and mark the ablation zone. Show the customer the yellow ROI and how to achieve it. Place the apex marker using the yellow line. Place the transverse and sagittal yellow lines in the center of the lesion. Use the measurement tool to illustrate the principle of margins. Remember, MRIs tend to underestimate the lesion size by 6 to 9 millimeters. Keep this in mind as you decided on the margins of the ablation zone. I'm going to place the lower and upper markers as close to the ROI as possible. I'm now going to define the lesion. The system segments the prostate into virtual 1.7 mm slices, with each of the green dots representing a 5 mm packet of energy applied. Green dots are markers for when the energy pockets are going to be applied. You'll navigate each slice and adjust the region of interest to ensure all malignant tissue is being ablated on each slice. Urologists have the ability to shape the target area easily and precisely. The system is able to automatically detect the rectum, or you can do it manually. When contouring the region of interest, you'll be able to contour the energy delivery to only the malignant tissue, with appropriate margins, avoiding critical structures and healthy prostate tissue. The treatment plans 6 slices at a time. 2. After each 6-slice block, the system automatically executes the plan using its robotic capabilities. 3. As you can see, I can extend the contour outside and anteriorly. This illustrates the flexibility and ability to adapt to any shape or size of the prostate. The system's only limitation is anterior to posterior height. The maximum effective range for Focal One is 40 mm anterior to posterior. As we discussed, each dot represents a 5 mm packet of energy. The computerized system automatically sets the energy application zones for maximum effectiveness. Remember, the system can ablate up 30 cc of prostate tissue an hour. A focal procedure takes roughly 45 minutes, while it takes about 1 hour for a hemiablation and 90 minutes for a whole gland ablation. I will now execute the firing process. The robotic is autonomously executing the design plan. A key safety feature shown during the firing process: before firing a row, the system will measure the position of the rectal wall and readjust itself in real time. Now, I would like you to take over for the next block. Contour the target as you see fit and execute the firing process. Remember, you can pause the firing process at any time to adjust the contours for maximum effectiveness. Demonstrate the ability to slightly modify the contour. Demonstrate moving the entire treatment. Drag the blue dot below the orange to demonstrate a change in the position of the rectal wall. The system comes with a patient movement sensor. Any movement by the patient will stop the application of energy and allow you to recontour/reposition the patient to accurately apply the energy. Simulate a patient moving during a procedure. The system-contained cooling system is constantly recycling the ablasonic fluid to cool the rectum. At any time during the procedure, the temperature of the rectum is too hot, the system will pause and let the rectum cool to an appropriate temperature. Direct the customer's attention to the temperature gauge on the treatment screen. The system is constantly monitoring the position of the rectal wall, avoiding applying energy to the rectum. The robot will make micro-adjustments each fire to account for any changes in the position of the rectal wall. Urologists always have the ability to pause the treatment to modify the treatment zones, maybe swelling of the prostate, changing the energy delivery at any time. Conclude the formal portion of the demonstration and declare, "I'd be happy to answer any question or clarify any step of the process." I'm really interested in your opinion of technology. What are a few features that really caught your attention? How would those features improve your current focal approach or provide the patient with a better outcome? Finally, seize the initiative. Ask the customer to vocalize concerns, uncertainty of hesitation to move to the next step in the validation process. After addressing objections or clarifying any uncertainty of the technology, close the customer for the next step. As discussed, be prepared with a schedule of availability activities with dates and times. Close the customer for the next step before leaving the procedure room. It could also be a great time to understand the hospital's process for acquiring capital. An easy question to ask if this strategic acquisition could improve your outcomes, efficiency, or contribution margin. What is the capital acquisition process at the hospital? Can you help me navigate the politics and bureaucracy that's part of every hospital and healthcare system? A list of like-minded surgeons at similar institutions, with dates and times of their availability to host a case observation of chat about their experience with Focal One on a Zoom call. Never leave the